In this video, I want to show you how the new word list generator as part of the Criss Cross Generator works. So the first thing to note is that this is not included by default. It is an optional upgrade, and if you have already purchased the word list generator, either the monthly subscription or the lifetime one, you have access to this. And what you'll need to do is just click on the word list generator button here, enter your license details, and it will give you access. If you don't have access and you want it, then again, click on the button here and then simply choose if you want monthly or lifetime access. So let's show you how it works. So if we click the word list generator button here, it will load the following screen here. So at the top, we have two options. We have a new file option and an existing file option. Now the new file will obviously create a completely new file, and the existing file is if you have a list of words already formatted with a crossword title, then the words, and then another crossword title on the words. That feature will generate your questions for you, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So first things first, if we are doing a new file, our first option is what theme do we want our word list to have. Now obviously we can choose from any of these ones here. I'm going to start with and go for animals general. After this is our puzzle type. Now, with the Criss Cross Generator, you can obviously generate different types of crisscross puzzles. You have the standard sort of crossword variation, where obviously you have the grid. Underneath you have the numbers with the clues or questions, and then you have to work out the answer and place the word. So that is our crossword variation. We can also create a word scramble variation. So again, we have our grid with the numbers and words underneath. And obviously normally these would be questions, but with the word scramble, it's the word that needs to be placed, just scrambled. Our third one is for a fill-in. So this is where we have again the grid, but with no numbers, and underneath we have the words that need to be placed in the grid, but again with no numbers, and then you have to work out where to place them. And then finally the fill in with clues, which is exactly the same. So grid with no numbers, underneath we'll have, rather than words, we'll have the clues or questions with no numbers. So you have to work out the answer to the clue or question, and then work out where that word fits on the grid. So let's start with just a crossword, and then we can choose our clue type here. For example, we can have just questions, or we can have just clues, or we can have a mixture of the two. Let's go for a mixture. After this, we have our puzzle titles. So by default, it's crossword. And then if I leave it as crossword and I create 5 puzzles, what that will do is my first puzzle title will be crossword 1, next one, crossword 2, then crossword 3, crossword 4, and crossword 5. Again, you can set this to whatever you like. I'm going to go for animals. That way we get animals 1, animals 2, and so on. How many do I want to create? Let's stick with 5. How many words do I want per puzzle? Let's go with 10. Now after this, I can set the minimum and maximum characters that I want my words that are included in the word list to have. So let's change this down to, let's say, 10. And then finally here, I have the option to where I want to save my generated file. So if I hit save as, let's call this animals crossword, hit save. Now, before we hit generate file, which will obviously create our file, it's worth noting that this uses AI to generate your questions. So do bear that in mind when you generate. Number one, because it won't be instant, so do allow a little bit of time. And secondly, do check the results. It is AI generated, so this is why with this feature it creates the text file rather than putting it directly into the program, because in that way it's worth just going over the results to make sure that you are happy with them. Right, so once we're ready, hit generate file, and then this will start our generation process. Now, this probably takes typically 15 to 20 seconds per puzzle, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip forward to when the generation is complete, so you're not bored watching a progress bar. Okay, so now our file has been generated. Let's click OK there and come off that. And then I go into my folder here, and then animals crossword. As you can see here, it has my titles, my questions, and my words all set out in a file ready to use in the Criss Cross generator. So that is creating a crossword. So if I go back into the software now, and then back into the word list generator, and then now, if I show you, drag this down here, let's create a word scramble one. So with the word scramble one and the fill-in ones, this just generates the words with a crossword and obviously a fill-in with clues. That is the words and the questions. The words are provided by the word list generator, so they're instant. If you're creating a word scramble or fill-in, if you're creating a crossword or fill-in with clues, this is done by AI, so it can take a little bit longer. So let's go for a word scramble, and then let's say word scramble up here. Let's go for a different subject. Let's go for, I don't know, what's interesting here. Let's go for English football teams. Again, let's go for 5 and then 10 words per puzzle. Let's leave the minimum and maximum characters. And then let's save that. So let's save that as football teams scramble. Save that, hit generate. So that's done instantly because, like I mentioned, that uses the word list from the word list generator. So if I come here and I show you this, again, then I have my file ready for upload into the Criss Cross generator to use. Now, the other option we have is to create the questions. So if you want to upload your own word list, for example, and have the software generate questions for you, you can. So what you would do is that you would format it like this. So let's say crossword 1. Let's think of some random words. Let's do some animals, maybe some food, pasta, maybe some colors, and then let's do another one and do that one, crossword 2, and then, oh, that's not on the new line, that, And then let's do, I don't know, let's some vehicles, do a car, van, bus, airplane, airport, cabbage, orange, banana. That'll do. It's just for an example. So what you would do is obviously you have set out your file like that. Save that as a text file. So let's save this here. Let's call this questions needed. Hit save. And then if we go back into the software here, back into the word list generator, and this time choose existing file here. And then what we're going to do is choose our questions needed file. And then again, we can choose crossword filling with clues, choose our question type. So again, our clue type, so we can have question, clues, or a mixture of both. And then nothing else here we can choose because obviously we're providing the words. And then let's call this questions generated. So hit save, hit generate, and obviously we'll just wait for that process to complete. And again, as I mentioned before, whenever you're generating questions or you're using a feature what requires questions, then the process will take a little bit longer as this is AI generated. So now that's complete, let's look at my questions generated. And as you can see now, it's generated a question or clue for each of my words. So now this file you can just use in the Criss Cross generator. So I hope this quick introduction video to using the word list generator feature of the Criss Cross generator helps you. Thank you for watching.